welcome back. This is episode 4. We are still in Ranger HQ, and we are now going to create 2 custom Rangers to start fleshing out this party. We just finished talking with the Patriarch, Sergei Gretzky, Marshal Kwan, and Corporal Marcelo Speedy Gonzalez. So the intention of this party and this whole playthrough is to play with 2 custom rangers and 4 companions. So to look at what we already have again, these 2 that I currently have created are the 2 that I will keep the entire time. So they'll be in the party the entire time, and I will never drop the sniper from the party ever to do anything. That character will end up picking up all of the miscellaneous companions that you'll come across. So, looking at the primary character, she's my lockpicker, she's my sneaky shit, and my sniper rifle. So she's going to be my sneaky sniper, usually opening up combat. All of these will end up being 10, every one of them. I also plan to put armor modding on her. And again, this is for the whole thing that I'm doing here is a convenience build. This is not a min-max build, so I want a convenience of having everything on my 6-person team. So I'm going to have 10 armor modding on her eventually. There's no armor modding checks in the game, so we don't have to worry about doing it right away. But eventually she'll get to 10, and she'll pick up a trait in armor modding that will allow the entire group to get 8 armor for each individual, and she'll be able to do all the armor modding. And that's pretty much all she'll be doing. We might have to do a little bit of weird science for some armor, but we'll do that when the time comes. So the second character we're keeping is going to be the submachine gun, and she is my primary barterer, so she's going to have bartering up to 10. She's also going to be doing the mechanics skill checks, so she'll be doing that up to 10. We picked out sniper rifle and leadership simply for the perks that we're going to take later on. She'll get rally and mark target, and she's using a submachine gun, so she'll become very, very powerful with this weapon as we go on, but right now, her primary focus is not going to be offensive. It's going to be getting barter up as quickly as possible and getting mechanics up with it, because you will have a lot of mechanic skill checks early on in the game. So looking back at the sniper, just to go over it one more time, sniper has prospector again for convenience, and I plan on having coordination at 10 and luck at 10 on this build, and she's going to pick up everything off the ground. Every chest I grab, every box I pick up, every diggable, she's going to be the one to do it. And for the submachine gunner, she's actually set up for the ability to kill on demand later on, once I really work on her offensive capabilities. So now I'm going to briefly mention Marshal Kwan. He's going to get respect, so it doesn't matter what he is now. He's going to get respect really quickly. His peacekeeper background is just completely useless. I mean, if you're playing the game where like you just initiative really is basically if you're surprised and they get to go first, but there are very few times that I've come across so far where you're surprised and initiative matters, so it's pretty much a useless stat. I'm going to end up respecing Marshal Kwan, and I'll talk about that after we create the 2 custom rangers. So,
Rangers, good to see you. Sure thing, let's have a look.
The first one I'm going to create is a shotgun character.
Choo-choo!
You started it!
Oh
They've spotted new. Are you?
Get ready.
Get ready.
And on the shotgun character, I'm going to use critical chance. Go killer background. And again, we like our females small and slender for the most part. There will be one exception to this rule. For the quirk, I like to pump chomp. We like the shotgunner to be able to move a bit more in the first round, so especially with friendly fire on, so that you avoid blowing up your own people and pets with the shotgun. And a lot of times you can finish combat before the third round, so the penalty doesn't really hurt you that much. So I like picking 2 pump chump for the shotgun. As far as attributes go, she's going to be a high charisma build eventually, but like all other characters, intelligence is OP. She will eventually like speed. Well, not really like she likes speed, but we're not going to be able to give her that much speed. But it's not going to be that important right now. But eventually, we will give her some speed. Coordination, intelligence, charisma, and awareness are going to be the primary stats, and we're going to go ahead and give her 2 strength now. Let's go ahead and bump her up. I think 5 strength is where I'm going to leave her at, so she can wear specific types of armor. And actually, we'll go down to 2, 3, and give her 4 to start with for the coordination for the extra action point. But I think we'll get strength up to 5 as soon as possible, so that we're able to have her wear what we want, and then we'll work on coordination and charisma after that. Now, as far as skills goes for her, I plan on her doing my kiss ass and hard ass skill checks. She's also going to do my survival skill checks. And I'm going to have her be doing my weapon modding skill checks. Weapon modding is not important right this second, so we're not going to spend any points, but she will be doing those skill checks. Weapon modding skill check in the game, I think, is maximum of 6. So I'm going to try to get her to 10 weapon modding, just to be able to weapon mod in the party without having to worry about anything as far as mules go. So the intention is to actually get her to 10, but you only need 6, I think, for any skill check in the game. Survival is 7, I think. You need 7 for survival for any skill check in the game. So we don't have to worry about maxing this out, but we do need somebody to be able to pass those skill checks. Hard ass and kiss ass you'll need at 10. You know, use some books, drinks, whatever. You need those 2 at 10 to pass skill checks in the game. So she's gonna be in small arms for the shotgun. At the beginning of the game, she's going to be really weak, but we're going to use her for rallying, and we're also going to use her to mark targets. So you need sniper rifles at 2, and you'll need leadership at 3 in order to do that, to get the perks to do that. Yeah, that's it. So at first, you know, we're concentrating mostly on passing skill checks and not worrying about combat abilities for many of the characters. because we're setting up for the sniper and the pistol to be the primary damage dealers, and let everybody go ahead and get their skill checks, get the skills they need to pass skill checks, and pick up a little bit of offense on the way. And by the time we get to like 10 or 12, they will have caught up, and they will actually be doing some decent damage themselves, and you would have all the stuff you need for the skill checks. So alright, so again, we're going to go ahead with Kiss Ass 4, Hard Ass 4, Leadership 3, Survival 3. Survival 3 you need in order to have a, like, I think it's the only survival skill check that's outside of, like, random encounters, but for Lucia Wesson, when you first meet her, there is a Survival 3 check on her that you'll miss that unique dialogue if you don't have it. So 2 sniper rifles from our target. She'll end up getting the small arms up for the shotgun. And we'll need to have 1 in weapon modding before we leave to go into Colorado and drive around for the first quest at the Hoon Homestead. There's a weapon modding 1 check, so you'll need to have 1 then, but not now. Okay, the next character we're going to create is the Brawler. Now, let's call him Curse Rumpet.
We can hit.
You started it!
You started it. Well, they've spotted.
New target.
And
If you wanna... Are we going?
let's do this shit.
Alright, Brawlers in the beginning of the game are very, very weak, but they quickly became one of the most powerful characters in the game, if not the most powerful character in the game. Once they get to Brawling 10, they just become beasts, but early on they suck. They're like dead weight, but they also can be used very effectively for utility. They're able to throw the snowballs and freeze targets. There's a unique, not unique, but there's a craftable weapon called a foam finger that allows the brawler to use 3 AP to inspire another character. And when you inspire another character, that character gets 2 AP, 10% crit damage, 10% crit chance for 1 turn, and the brawler can use that foam finger every single turn. So basically what they do is they make it where you can use your sniper to shoot again, or you know, let your pistol take another attack. So their utility, they have very good utility value, and that utility is worth having even though they're not doing any damage until they get to 10. And once they get to 10, it's lights out. But brawlers need a lot of speed. They need to be able to run across the combat and hit a opponent and be able to do some damage and fire off their strike attack. So they're speed like hungry, but we don't want to spend speed on attributes on them because they need so many other attributes. So you gotta pick up your speed somewhere else. So we're gonna pick up speed in the background and the quirk. So we pick a sex machine. That's basically 2 speed. And I like picking the clown face because the quirk that we pick up is called, where are you at? Circus Freak. So this thing gives you a costume which makes you look like a clown, so you know it's fitting. But it gives you 4 speed, so you're picking up 6 speed in background and the quirk, and 25% resistance of crit is okay. That's fine. If you get hit, you're almost always dead. But no, the brawler actually can take some hits once you get the strength up. So pick this, and we're gonna go ahead and keep this costume because I like to know where my brawler is at all times. So I keep the appearance of the clown, and you know. The slender female rule, I don't apply to my clown. I like my clown to be big, gigantic big, but I still like slender clowns. I don't like fatty, you know, fatty jacked. I guess jacked isn't too bad, but no, I'd rather have my slender clown, but gigantic for sure. All right, like I said, this is an attribute hungry class. They just love everything. There's just nothing they don't love. They love it all. So we're going to drop speed because we just picked up 6 speed, and we're going to start using that in other areas. Eventually, we're going to have 10 coordination, we're going to have 10 charisma, 10 intelligence, and hopefully get up there to 10 strength as well. And then we can start working on getting even more speed at that point. But strength is important for this character. Coordination right now isn't too important, because you're basically going to be throwing snowballs for the most part for quite a while, and using first aid items on other people, because the brawler will be my first aid character. So coordination is not terribly important to get up high really quick. So, as I alluded to, you need to pick up 4 first aid right now for the skill checks in Ranger HQ. But eventually, the brawler will get up to 10 for first aid, and she'll run around the combat field and apply items to get people back up. And she'll be basically, if your team goes down, she'll be the one picking them up. So, which is why speed is very good for this character, is because she can go around and get to people that are down and get them back up. So brawling, we're not going to be worried about brawling right now, the actual skill. Eventually, we'll get it to 10, but she's so weak at the beginning, there's really no point until you have enough skill points to max out brawling and get it to 10, and have the 4 perks along the way. You don't need to be worrying about anything with brawling right now. So we're just going to set this character up to pass the skill checks we need and to be a utility character until we get enough skill points to get brawling up. So we're going to have marking targets. So 2 sniper rifle for mark target. We're going to have 3 leadership for rally. First aid will be the primary skill, but we don't need to have it up now. Nerd stuff will be the, being able to run around the combat. You're able to hack any machine. So nerd stuff works in tandem with being able to run around the battlefield. And actually, I think there's a skill check of 6 in Ranger HQ that we can do now. So I'm going to drop leadership by 1 right now to go ahead and get that 6, so that we can get the skill check for Ranger HQ. Don't be disappointed in the brawler early on. They're going to be weak and they're going to feel like an anchor, but if you use the utility, and you'll see on some of the videos that I make how you can use the utility on them, they'll hold on until you can get them up to brawling 10, and once they get to brawling 10, it's fucking lights out.
There you go. Anything else? I'll be here.
Okay, so now I'm going to look at Marshal Quan. Before we leave Ranger HQ, we are going to respect Marshal Quan. And in order to do that, you need to have $200. Now, it is very possible that you can get $200 while you're in Ranger HQ, and you need to make sure that you don't loot all the chests and items that you can loot to get money here, and not get that $200. So, save it before one of the planes that that gives you money, so that maybe you get lucky and get a bigger amount. But you need to make sure you get $200 to respect Marshal Quan before you leave the zone. You're not going to pick up any of the diggables, so you're not going to get any money from the diggables. You're going to keep the diggables. Actually, you can do the diggables. So I might show you that, and we can just avoid that whole conversation. So I can show you the diggables since I have the prospector already set up, so we'll do it that way. Alright, so we're going to respec Marshal Quan. his background is really shitty. +3 initiative is like it's basically a pointless stat in my opinion because it only applies when you're surprised. And in almost every instance that you're fighting in this game, you're setting up your team to be the first to attack. So you're never surprised. Now, I mean, you can play the game hardcore and just say, well, if you screwed up and hey, okay, I got surprised, and that's fine, and but most people are going to reload and say, okay, let me set this back up. So initiative to me is just a pointless fucking stat. It's completely freaking useless. But we're going to turn Marshal Kwan into my big gunner, and so he'll be big guns. He'll be doing rockets. He'll be doing minigun type weapons, flamethrower type weapons. He's also going to be doing the um, weird science check, and initially that's going to be high because we need weird science check early on in the game to pick up some stuff in Patriarch's Palace or to get some skill checks there, so that'll be early on. But he'll be also the explosives, so I'll have the explosives on him up to 10, and that's the key for respecting him on this zone because there are some explosive skill checks that we have to pass, and we want to pass those after we pick up the perk. Um, in explosives that lets you basically disarm a trap and give you a 33% chance to get a grenade. So we're not going to do that until we get that perk, and we should get enough XP in this zone to be able to do that. It's important to disarm the traps early on. You don't need to do it. There's a room over here. I'm not going to go there yet, but there's a room over here that's got traps in it, and once you go in there, and you'll see some traps that you can get, and it's possible you can get some frag grenades from there by that skill. There's also a trap way over here. This one, however, will disappear if you zone out. So that's why you need to have it, the ability to go ahead and disarm the explosives high enough to get this one. For whatever reason, it will disappear if you do not do that. So we'll see that next episode. We're gonna do go through, start talking to some other NPCs, and I don't know if I'll just do the talking of the NPCs over on this side and then do another video after that for the actual combat in here. But yeah, so the intention now, these 4 custom rangers, we need that to flesh out the party for now. But right now, the sniper will be the one that will always stay in the group, and the submachine gunner will always be in the group. The 2 we just made here, I plan on changing Strumpet, the brawler, to Scotchmo when I am able to pick up Scotchmo, and I plan on changing Vixen out for Ironclad Cordite when I get Ironclad Cordite. Depending on your decisions, you may not have him available, but I'm going to make sure that I have him available. Marshal Kwan is going to be with the group for quite a while, but I plan on switching him out for Victory Buchanan. And Lucia Weston we're going to pick up here relatively quickly once we get to Colorado Springs, downtown Colorado Springs. And she'll be in the group for, I think, the entire game. So that's what I hope to have as the final 4 parties. Now I'll be switching out other companions just to see the dialogues and whatnot, but that's what I plan on doing. So that's going to be it for this particular episode. Next episode we'll do some dialogues with the characters that are rather long, and maybe deal with the terminal there that has some documents we have to read. But alright, thanks for watching. Later.